Hello, welcome back in my skill tree tutorial. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to make logic for zoom in, zoom out, and moving around our skill tree. First, we want to function override and find on mouse bottom down. And as you see, this function open for us. And we're gonna create all logic here. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna create a variable, boolean variable. I'm gonna name it is dragging. Now from mouse event, get affecting button, and we wanna check if it's equal to left mouse button, and if it's equal, we're gonna set is dragging for true. So basically we're gonna tell our system that the mouse bottom is down, we're holding it, and it's gonna tell another function that you can move it around. And now just press select from return value, connect the index with is dragging, and on true we put handle, and on false it will be unhandle. And now we're gonna do exactly same with mouse button up. And the same like last function, get affecting button. We're gonna check it if it's equal to left mouse button. But this time we're gonna put not boolean. And we're gonna connect it to set dragging. And this way we're gonna tell our system that we don't use left bottom anymore. So we're not gonna move around. And on select we're gonna do exactly same, but on false is gonna be handed, and on true unhanded. Okay, and now we're gonna override on mouse move. So now we're gonna set up all the logic, what's happened when the mouse move. So first we're gonna get is dragging and put branch, and that's gonna say if is dragging through, then we can move our screen, drag our widget, and if it's full we can't. So let's get cursor delta, and we want to multiply it by the speed that we're gonna set up. So we're gonna make new variable, make it speed, and make it float value. So basically that's gonna be speed, how fast you wanna move around your screen. I'm just gonna set it as 1, but you can put any value if you want it to be slower or faster. Just put whatever you like. And now drag our widget skill tree. That's this one that holds all the skill slots. Then you see it's quite big, so we want to make sure we can move around to see all of it. Okay, so from this we wanna get transform, and once we got it, we gonna split structure pin, and we gonna get translation. We're gonna add with this one, and now we wanna set render translation. So now when it's true, we're just gonna set new rendered translation, and what we can do is connect just this pin to translation. I show you. So basically just join this one. Oh, why does it work? Oh, here we go. And then on return value just put handled, and we can do it this way. But there's one problem. I'll show you now what's going on. So as you see, oh, it's worked. We can drag it, but there is no limit. So basically you can drag infinite, and we don't want it because we always want some border of your skill tree, somewhere where we stop. That will also help when we do zoom in, zoom out. So basically what we have to do is put clap on it. So let's create new function. I'm gonna name it claps, and we're gonna put input as geometry, and we're gonna name it geometry. Okay, and now let's second input, and we're gonna name it clamp2, and that's gonna be vector 2D. And also we wanna do same with the output. We also want vector 2D to be there. I'm just gonna name it clamped. And now just open this one and split pin. So we got value X and Y. Now from geometry, we wanna get local size. And we wanna drag our skill tree again. And we get slot as canvas slot, because we're in the canvas, and then we get size. It's just because our widget is placed in the canvas, that's why we're getting size from there. And we're gonna get transform again and also split it, but this time we're gonna use its scale. So when I get size, or we don't need to get desired size. Desired size we would use if it's image, but we're using widget, so it's a bit different. So we're gonna get multiply, and we're gonna use the transform scale this time. So now from this multiply, get subtract and get local size on the bottom, and then we want to multiply again, and on the bottom just change for single float and set it as 0.5 value, and then we're gonna split it so we get X and Y value. Okay, now we're gonna get from this X, we're gonna get clamp float. And we're gonna get X value as maximum. And the minimum is gonna be X value. And we're gonna multiply it by -1. And that's gonna go here. And with Y, we're gonna do exactly same. You just get the value Y to max. And then we're gonna multiply it by -1 again for the minimum. And now from this top clump, we're gonna make vector 2D, connect both ends and connect it to return value. And now we want to, so I'm gonna compact name title set as clamps. And I'm gonna make it as the pure function. And now let's go back on mouse move. And what we want, we're gonna add it here. Fast setups a pure function. We're gonna connect geometry here. So we know which geometry we use, and we're gonna use this vector here and put it to translation. So this way we're gonna use clamps on our skill tree. So you see there's limit. We can only go as far as our widget is set. And now we're gonna set up our function to zoom in, zoom out, exactly like this. So zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. For that, we're gonna overwrite again and we're gonna get mouse wheel. And this blueprint gonna be a little bit complicated, so watch carefully. It will be quite big. So from mouse event, we wanna get wheel delta and set a branch. So basically, let's check it if it's greater than 0. So this way, we're gonna know if you scroll up or down. We're gonna set branch for it. So I'm gonna make new variable, call it zoom steps, and I'm gonna set it up as integer. So basically it's gonna count how many zoom up and down we can do max. And now we wanna set zoom step. Let's make some space. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get zoom step and we're gonna add to it, oh no, this add 1. So each time we zoom, we're gonna get at 1 to zoom step. We're gonna set clamp, so maximum it can go up to 4 only. And now we want to check it if it's less than 4. So as long as it's less than 4, that's good. But once it's happening to be false, then we want to get return, and then we want to put as handled. So basically when it's reached 4, we cannot zoom in anymore. On true for now, put it here. And actually not get our widget and set render scale. Now let's put it on true. We're gonna set render scale. And let's do exactly same on false. So that's gonna be when we're zooming out. So you say we're gonna set value of zoom step. And just this time we're gonna take away, you can put subtract, or I'm gonna just do add -1. In this case it doesn't really matter, it's exactly same thing. And then clamp is gonna be same, -4 and max 4. But now we want to check if it's greater than -4. And once it's equal to -4, it's gonna go for false, and it's gonna go again to return unhandled. Okay, that's how it's supposed to look. So it's gonna zoom in, zoom out function. That's just gonna check the steps. And now we're gonna set up function for how much one step goes. So how much it zoom in, zoom out. What's the value of it? So from mouse event, get screen position, space position. And from my geometry, get absolute to location coordinate, and join it, get space position, just join it to absolute coordinate. From here, I'm gonna subscribe, subtract, and we're gonna get from mouse event, no, sorry, from my geometry, we're gonna get local size, and we're gonna pin it here. I actually want to divide local size by 2 first. I'm just gonna change it for float to 2, and now I can connect it. And let's get our skill tree widget again, and we get a transform, split, pin, and get the value of translation. And we're gonna get this again subtract with translation. That's how it's gonna be. And now from mouse event, get wheel delta. And we're gonna check if it's greater than 0. And so basically that check if we go up and down, which way we're scrolling, and just go select and select. Okay, and now we want to set up zoom factor, and that's gonna be float value, and that's gonna be how much we want to zoom in, zoom out. So I'm gonna put it for 0.75. That's the value I like. You can put it any as long as it's greater than 0.5, because on 0.5 it acts weird. So now we want to get zoom factor, get divide, but we want just change the spin, and we're gonna divide 1 by zoom factor, and that's gonna give us value of true, and the value of false is gonna be just zoom factor itself. So from return value we want to subtract by 1 and just multiply it with this subscribe pin, yeah, just like that. And from transform translation pin we're gonna get subtract and join it to that multiply, and then we're getting value of our zoom in, zoom out, and we're gonna add clamps just so there is limitation of how much we can zoom in, zoom out, so it doesn't go out of your skill tree screen. And from our widget get render translation, set it, and the clump's gonna add to the vector 2D of it, and that's where return and handled. Okay, and now we're gonna get our widget, and we're gonna get transform again. We're gonna split pin, and this time we're gonna use scale, multiply it, and we're gonna multiply by return value, and we're just gonna connect it to set render scale. And okay, let's try it. Let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, let's press. As you see, you can zoom in, zoom out. Whenever my mouse points, I'm zooming, zoom out. I can move, but I see some problem. Okay, let's remove this one, and I'm just gonna copy this widget and I'm gonna make it bigger. I think because it was image, it didn't want to stick to the position I set. So let's just change everything. Okay. And as you can see now, it stays in place as I set it. Probably I will figure out how can I do with the how can I do it with the image. Let's see, moves. Then seems everything works. Let's get full screen. But as you can see now, when I'm zoom in, I cannot zoom out exactly same. Let's see, let's try it. See, I'm getting more closer, but I cannot zoom out. I don't know why this happened. I didn't realize that before. And let's check it out. Okay, so I realized there was problem with our step counter. So basically before I was allowing to add value before the branch, but I changed it, so now it's adding value after the branch. That way it's gonna work. Like if the branch go false, it's not gonna add anymore. So when you scroll down, it's gonna minus to the -3, and then it's not gonna go anymore to -4. And the same in when you scroll up, it's gonna add points to the 3, and that's way it works. Perfect. You can see I'm zoom in, zoom out, and everything works. Yeah, you can click it. So as you can see, I also changed background, is blurry now. And I just did add a background blur and set it up. And also let's make a border a bit darker. Okay guys, that's it for the tutorial. In the next video, I'm gonna make these buttons clickable, and when you click it, you unlock skill, you change it color, make it more brighter, and also use skill points. And in another video, I also planning to make tooltip for the skill, so you can see all the information. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I see you next time.